Hello, Math 2 students. In this video, I'm going to go over how to take your drawings for your Onshape handles, and this would also apply to your front and back pieces as well for your serving tray, and bring this into Partworks and create the toolpaths necessary to run the CNC machines. Now, a lot of you have shown me drawings that look very similar to what I have here on the screen, where I have the handle identified as far as what that might look like for me. And of course, you're going to be using the bandsaw to cut that out, but we still want to draw that in Onshape so we know exactly how this is going to look once it's all said and done. Of course, then we also have the opening for where our hand is going to go. And this needs to be big enough that your hand can actually fit into. So something that you might want to consider is actually measuring the width and thickness of your fingers with a ruler or a tape measure to get an idea of how big that needs to be. The other item that needed to happen was the fact that the ends of your side pieces, or your left and right sides, your handles, needs to be the same width as your front and back piece, which is going to be 3 inches. And of course we have our dado, which is identified here with all these offset lines, something that we did during class as well. One thing that's missing on my drawing though is this outside box at the top. And so just a simple way to get that box is by offsetting and extending lines. And so I want to show you how to do that. Again, the offset tool is that thumbs up icon. We're going to click on the bottom line, and I'm going to move that arrow so it's pointing the right direction. Type in 4.5. That's going to show me a line at the very top, which would identify at the very top of my handle there. And now I can go ahead and, using the extend tool, extend this line to that corner. And the same thing would apply here. And so this is what you're going to be taking into Partworks. So now that I have that done, I'm going to unclick my extend tool. We're going to create a DXF file necessary for us to be able to bring this into Partworks. To do so, you're going to right click on sketch 1. Oh, I need to check mark this. I'm going to right click on sketch 1 and export as a DXF. Now I have a bunch of other things over here in the window, and that's just extrusions. So we're going to export as a DXF/drawing. I'm going to make sure that my file name is something that I'm going to remember. I usually like to have my last name involved in that, as well as what the part is. In this case, it's our serving tray handles. It should be a DXF, and it's okay for it to be release 14. We're going to go ahead and make sure that we're downloading this. So this is something that will have to be done on my laptops here in class. So that way we can bring this right up into Partworks. We're going to hit export, and this is going to show up in our downloads folder. So now that I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and move into Partworks. Now what I've already done is I've created a file or created a new file, and I started the job setup. The job setup is going to be the same size as your rough dimensions in your parts list. So for our handle, it's 13 by 5.5. We also want to make sure that our thickness is correct, which is 7/8, and that our Z0 is at the top of our board. And finally, our XY origin, or our home, 0, 0, should be the bottom left corner as you learned in Mat 1. We're going to hit OK. And now we can go ahead and bring our file in. A lot of students make the mistake of hitting File, Open, and opening up the drawing from there. However, to bring in a vector or a DXF file, you need to import vectors from a file. Again, this should be found in your downloads folder, and it should be the latest thing there. We're going to hit Open. You're going to get a message with a warning. You can go ahead and hit Yes. It'll show up off of the canvas or workspace. And so without clicking anything, you can notice that everything is highlighted. We'll go ahead and center this within the material. To do that, again, is under Align Objects. And now that I have this centered in the material, I can see I have plenty of space to put screws in my board to fasten this down. In the next video, you're going to learn how to create your toolpaths and saving your file to the flash drive.